Hello, myself Rekha Damur from Param Guru Pathshala English Medium School Sarsa. Today I am going to discuss the first chapter of Economics of Standard 12th Commerce. Topic covered: types of diagram and use of technology in economics. In last session, we have discussed the types of diagram: time-based line diagram, simple bar diagram, and clustered bar diagram. Our next topic is third type of bar diagram is divided bar diagram. By its name, we can understand that the variables are represented in division of bars. Every single value of the variable has subcategories in such a diagram. We get divisions in all the bars which represent a variable and common base values. When the data on a variable for different places, times, or things are given in total of values of the variable and its related subcategories, then divided bar diagram is drawn. Now we discuss about aspects to be considered while drawing a bar diagram. The width of the bars does not represent any data, hence all bars should be of equal width. The value of variable is represented by y-axis, so its length represents the value, not width represents the value. So all bars should be in equal width. It means we have to draw all bars with equal width because width does not represent the value of the variable. Second, the length of the respective bars should be proportional to the value of the variable which they represent. One bar is divided in different proportion, so accordingly to the value, bars should be divided. It means bar is divided in different proportion, so the value of variable is decide how proportion is covered by that value. Third, the distance between all bars should be equal and that should also be maintained between the first bar and the origin. Means from y-axis to the first bar and from first bar to second bar, and then after from second bar to third bar, and according to it between all bars equal distance should be maintained. Fourth, all bars raised on the same line called a base which usually coincides with the x-axis. In today's times, with the help of computer technology, horizontal bars are drawn instead of vertical bars. It means that it is not compulsory to draw vertical bars. With the help of computer, we can draw horizontal bars. Fifth point is all vertical bars should be arranged from left to right in order of the data series. Therefore, the bar representing the first data in the series is drawn first near the point of origin. It means according to data table, first data in the series is presented first from the y-axis, and then other data are presented left to right on x-axis from the y. Now we analyze the example of divided bar diagram. In the example, sectors and use of electricity 2012 and 13 are given. Here we have data for only 1 year 2012-13. We draw only one bar for it. If we have more data for more than one, various bars should be drawn. Now move on the diagram of divided bar diagram. First point is in the figure 1.3, total production of electricity in the year 2012-13 is shown on x-axis and percentage of use of electricity on y-axis. Second point is major percentage of total production of electricity was used by industrial sector, 45% in the year 2012-13, which is a good indicator of industrial development of the country. Third, 22% of electricity was used for household purpose, while it was 18% for agriculture and lowest 2% for transportation. Now we discuss about the next type of bar diagram. Fourth, pie diagram. A diagram representing an entire data and its different components by dividing the circle in degrees proportional to the data is a pie diagram. Pie diagram is drawn for the similar type of data for which a bar diagram can be drawn. Now we discuss about the formula of bar diagram. The formula of pie diagram. Formula: degree is equal to component value divided by total value multiplied by 360. By this formula, data should be converted in degrees, and after that data should be represented in pie diagram. Calculation for first is 20 multiplied by 360 divided by 100 is equal to 72 degree. We get 72 degrees. We can see in diagram all component values are presented by different patterns. From first calculation, we can say after converting data in degree, we get 72%. So, out of 360 degree, 72 degree is covered by money spent by students on book. 18% degree means area is covered by stationery. 108% the area is covered by phone, computer, other devices, etc. 108 degree area is covered by food. 54% degree area is covered by clothes. We conclude that the pocket money spent by students on food and devices are more. Students have to increase the purchase of stationery and books and decrease the purchase of devices. Now we have to know the aspects to be considered while drawing a pie diagram. 360 degree make a circle. It means that when we make a circle, it is for 360 and the data which we converted in degrees, the sum total of that degrees are also 360 degree. Second, degrees for subdivision are calculated in proportion to the value of the variable for that division, and the sum total of the degrees of all such subdivisions must be 360. Third, if relevant data is to be compared across regions or time periods, then two pie diagrams can be drawn side by side. For a data set with a smaller total value, a circle with smaller dimension is drawn, and for a data set with larger total value, a circle with bigger dimension is drawn. It means if various data are given for regions or time periods, we have to draw two different pie diagrams side by side. Small circle dimension should be drawn for smaller total value and large circle should be drawn for larger total value. It can easy to understand by the dimension of the circle. Now we discuss about the use of technology in the study of economics. We are living in a age of digital technology and we use this technology in our lives. We use digital technology to stay connected with friends and relatives, to watch movies, to listen to music, to navigate our way while driving on unknown roads, to order, purchase goods, to pay our bills, to buy tickets, and for many more purposes. This technology is also used for education. Economics is an art and science which evolves every day as the behavior of human beings, society, and state changes with time. Hence, people in ordinary business of life as well as experts have to update themselves by the day and technology helps to cope up. Different type of digital tools frequently used in the study of economics are first of them computer technology. A student of economics is aware of the word computer. We may have used computer frequently in our school, and some of us might also be having a computer at home. Today, even smartphones perform several functions of a computer. We can use various programs of a computer technology in our study, like first, presentation. Complicated economic data and difficult theories can be made easy by expressing it in a PowerPoint presentation. For example, the entire topic of budget can be highlighted in 3 slides. One can give the meaning and 2 accounts in a budget and their meaning. Another can show the example of the contents of a budget and how it is presented. The third slide can give the trends of budget in our country or can give the actual budget of a government for a recent year. One of the best example of PowerPoint presentation for you is this video. You can see in this video the main topic, then after subpoints are presented on next slide, then diagram you can see in this PowerPoint presentation. Second point is Excel worksheet. Economics deals with lots of data. Such data is entered in an Excel sheet. This sheet can process the data for any formula at only one click. Excel sheets are almost an important tool for processing data in economics. From Excel sheet, we can also obtain figures for the data in an Excel sheet. You can see that in Excel worksheet there are many data are entered, and if we enter the formula for that, the total and the calculation is easily done by only one click. But we have to know the formula for that calculation. Next point is diagrams and graphs. We all aware by diagrams and graphs, and also know and understand how diagrams and graphs helps in economics and how we can easily understand by diagrams and graphs. With the help of several programs in a computer, diagrams and graphs are drawn for economics. Excel sheet plots almost all types of diagrams and graphs for the data which we enter in the worksheet. Fourth point is storage tools. Now we use plenty of study material in economics. Such material becomes useful in higher studies in economics or for research. We need space and carefulness to preserve such material in the form of physical notebooks or books. There is a fear of losing such material owing to moisture, pests, etc. But we can preserve all such material in a computer. Besides, it can be carried anywhere by transferring it in a hard disk or pen drive. By transferring it in email, Dropbox, Google Drive, DigiLocker, etc., we can access this material and read it in any part of the world. Thus, study materials can be preserved with the help of computer technology. We all know that the books and notebooks are not easy to maintain. If we use to store data, pen drive, hard disk, and if we save our material in these devices, we can be easily preserve it and also transfer it easily. And whenever we need, we get the material from it. Fifth point is other tools. Statistical programs like SPSS, SHAZAM, eViews, SAS, etc. are developed to do almost all types of data processing for lakhs of observations in minutes. These are very expensive. However, certain software like Gretchen, PSPPR, etc. can be obtained free of cost through the internet. Nowadays, all these functions of a computer are also available on smartphones and tablets. Computer is a tool. It is not a study material itself, but it helps to make the process of studying easier and faster. Hence, it cannot be used in place of knowledge or study. If we do not use right commands in a computer, we may lose our material. Also, we may get incorrect graphs and data processing, which will mislead the study of economics. This is the caution in using computer technology. Now, we discuss about internet technology. Internet is another facility created by digital technology which all of us have used from time to time. The use of internet in economics can be summarized by this point. First is tutorial. Through PowerPoint presentation, we can read guiding study materials in economics along with worksheet on the open access link. Some educational websites put PowerPoint presentations and study material along with the worksheets on the open access link. We can view such presentation as tutorial. Second is active learning. Some videos of lecturers by experts are put on open access sites by some educational institutions. Some institutions create live lectures available to students. We can register on these sites and we can listen to a lecture on the net like we do in our classroom. For example, lectures by experts are available in economics and other subjects. Third point is reading material. Numerous books are available online free of cost on net for reading. Also, good research articles, copied of journals, etc. are also available for students to read on net. Such materials are known as e-books and e-journals, etc. Fourth point is information. Information on universities offering degrees in economics and other details on the subject economics we can get on internet. We can get information on universities offering degrees in economics or any other information about any subject. Fourth point is miscellaneous. We can get quotes by economists, names or reference books, etc. also on internet by using this search engine. Next point is data. Economics uses a lot of secondary data. For example, we use data on budget of a government, banking, agricultural production, value of exports and imports, poverty, employment, industrial production and many other. This data can be accessed from authentic websites. For example, authentic site for data on banking in India is the official website of Reserve Bank of India. For exports and imports is the website of Ministry of Commerce and Industries of Government of India. Budget related information from Ministry of Finance, Government of India and so on. Some organizations and agencies functioning at national and international levels also collect, publish as well as put data on websites. For example, CSO, NSSO, WHO, UNO, CMIE, ILO, IMF, World Bank and so on. Now we have to know the question in using internet for education. Like computer, internet is also only a tool. It cannot replace books and teachers or our own thinking and reasoning. A lot of substandard material, irrelevant information, misleading information are found on internet. We must avoid using those. Readers must have the wisdom of identifying the authentic material on internet. Only authentic websites must be referred to, otherwise we may end up getting misled. The last point of our this chapter is data series, means compact discs. Some authorities and agencies like research centers, government agencies, etc. collect and publish the data pertaining to economic parameters and put this huge data content in compact discs and sell those in market. First, research institutes, educational institutes, etc. buy such CDs for their studies and research in economics. Some CDs frequently used in economics are: first, CD of National Income Accounts of India; second, CD of Census of India; Third, CD of Annual Survey of Industries in India. 4. CD of NSSO. And 5. CD of data provided by the Statistical Department of respective ministries. Agencies like CMIE creates data software for statistical data on economics. Fourth, data series and software contain a huge data, so one must have the knowledge to search for relevant data. Fifth, the data series contain a huge data, so it becomes complicated to use. Sixth, the CD consists of several data sheets, so one must have knowledge for searching the relevant data sheet. Now we complete our topic for today here, and our first chapter, Graphs in Economics, is also complete here. Now I declare my first chapter is complete. Thank you so much to all.